This movie tells a story about King Louis' quest for immortality that leads him to capture and steal a mermaid's life force, a move that is further complicated by his illegitimate daughter's discovery of the creature. This movie is a problematic one in terms of production. It has had a very long road to the screen. The movie was shot all the way back in 2014 under the title The Moon and the Sun, just like the name of the late Fonda and McIntyre's 1997 fantasy novel it's based on. It bears all of the signs of a film that's been awkwardly cobbled together in order to finally push it over the finish line. Temperaments of characters change for no reason. Events occur with little or no setup. Ideas are introduced but never develop, and so on. The early events of the story too are mashed up in a confusing fashion. The central conflict makes for an intriguing setup, but the movie would rather indulge in a series of far more conventional story elements. There's a lot going on in this story. The majority of it feels thinly sketched and far too familiar. Some engaging angles to the story are underdeveloped. All of the early exposition is provided by a series of vignettes framed within a storybook and narrated by Julie Andrews. The movie's depiction of and feelings toward King Louis are particularly jumbled and fluctuating as the king's mercurial nature becomes more of a plot device. The screenplay can't decide if Mary is fiercely independent or reliant on getting a guy. There's not enough to compensate for such uncertain characterization. The whole music tie between Mary and mermaid thing never gets its due, and the palace intrigues have a seriously low-stakes feel. Fantastic-looking settings and costumes and a gorgeous cast can't overcome this movie's predictable, listless storytelling. The movie tries to wow you with its palatial splendor, hopefully distracting you from how cornball and awkwardly assembled all this is. As much as it attempts to be a romantic, fantastical yarn with a feminist kick, it still feels toothless and ass backwards. There's a scenario, yet no real development of any elements of that scenario. The movie lurches from one scene to the next, never building any suspense, drama, romance, or pathos. The film provides no space to explore its relationships, and as a result, there's little friction to the climax. The mermaid is a mere device, rendered through cheap-looking visual effects with no personality. No reason to empathize with her is given. The most intriguing sections of this story have nothing to do with Mary's plots. Instead, it's the moral dilemma presented to the king. Since Mary is the focal point, that conflict only drives this story toward a third-act rescue mission. The multiple machinations happening in the climax come across as overly convoluted ways to rush to the easiest resolution needed by the plot. Overall, after nearly 8 years, a title change and a new distribution plan later, the movie doesn't feel worth the wait. We do not recommend this movie at all.